I met Malcolm in Cairo. I met him when he made the trip there in 1964. I was then working as a journalist in Cairo, and a friend in the AP office, in the Associated Press office, called to say that they had read on the wire that Malcolm was on his way to Cairo from London. They'd read this on the wire, and they were beginning to learn. So this friend called me because they knew I would be interested. I met him on a boat, which had been moored in front of the Hilton Hotel on the Nile River to deal with the overflow resulting from the fact that the OAU, the Organization of African Unity Conference, was being held in Cairo during these days. And he had a place he had a room in his boat, and I went with a friend to the boat and met him there. I introduced myself and told him that I have lived in Cairo for several years now, and that if there was anything, any help that I could provide him with, anything that I could do to help him in his efforts here, at his disposal. I also asked him if I could have an interview. I told him what my work was there, and if I could have an interview with him. And he indicated that he had business to take care of with the Egyptian government, and at this point, and he would consider this later. He would, we would think about it, but at this point, it wasn't advisable from his point of view. And I left it at that.
But you became friends.
We became friends because Malcolm later, a few days after, when the conference was over, was moved from this boat to the Shepherd's Hotel in Cairo, which at that time was the finest hotel in Cairo. And his hosts, which was the Supreme Islamic Council of Egypt, had given him a suite on the 8th floor of the Shepherd's Hotel. When I went after the conference to the boat, I was told that he was now in the hotel, and I went to the hotel, and I saw him there again with the same anything he wanted. Would you please, he said, arrange for having some papers, his speech actually, Xeroxed. It wasn't Xeroxing at that time, it was mimeographed. In several copies. So he gave me a number that he wanted to have distributed. The conference was not over yet. It was near the ending days, but it was not over yet. He was to speak, and so he gave me this sheaf of yellow papers, handwritten, and I had this typed up and mimeographed and brought back to him, and he was very grateful. We talked at length on that visit about a number of things. The one thing that impressed me most, the one thing that I was most interested in knowing, was the question that I put to him was it necessary? Did he believe it was necessary in order to be an effective revolutionary that one should be religious or have a religion as such, or be a Muslim? And of course he answered that
that's an interesting question.
He said, some of us were brought up in ways which did not provide us with protection from all the evil that exists around us. And some of us were brought up with the resources that are necessary to resist that evil. And if one feels that they don't need, and that religion, he said, provides those guideposts for those who need them.
And of course, this must have been around the time when he was in conflict with Elijah Muhammad, wasn't it? Mm-hmm. When you met him.
This was 1964. This was after.
Yes,
this was, you know, this was a follow-up on this,
yes,
this time when he
yes,
was in conflict.
Mm-hmm. But that's
some
an
need it,
interesting
some
answer.
don't. Huh?
Yes.
And
yes.
yeah, I thought that was an adequate answer.